Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're all well. So, as by popular demand, because you guys were telling me, but this is for anyone anyway, you wanted me to do kind of a misconceptions of Islam. And I think that's a good idea actually. We'll go through them, we'll see all these major questions which are so important for us guys to know about because we live in the Western world in the United Kingdom. And anyone living in the Western world, Islam is under attack in the sense that it's been criticised more and more, I think, now, because obviously of the media coverage of it, and because of that, obviously people become more inquisitive because it's put in their faces so much. People want to know about it, and when they look into it, they have a lot of questions. And I think, as an Islamic community, the questions haven't been answered very well, in the sense that we don't seem to have a representative country, or there seems to be a lack of representative countries who seem to be showing Islam very well. So today, just before we get into it, obviously these are all just series for information and just for your education. This is not meant to be a kind of full blown explanation of every single detail. Yeah, it's just hopefully this will not be longer than about 15 minutes because I want it to obviously be bite sized, but also equip you guys, whether young or old, to be able to hold a discussion with people and to be able to bring good points about why we believe what we do. So today we're going to be talking about, I write the question at the top is, well, what a non-Muslim sometimes ask is, why do Muslim women have to wear the hijab, right? Let's cover their head. Their head. And obviously in that question, implicit in it, is obviously the idea that women do and men don't. Okay, so the first thing, there's a number of things which you can use to kind of explain this. Right. The first thing which you should always do is, and I find a lot of Muslims when they're answering questions, they don't really realise this, is you don't have to take the defensive. Like, people ask us stuff about our religion and we get all defensive, like, oh my god, like, we need to run around getting loads of evidences to prove things. No. First thing you should say is, so let's imagine in this, when they hear why do women must have to cover their head, they believe also, they believe like it's oppressive as well, yeah. They say because you tell women to cover their heads, it oppresses women as well. So first thing you should say to them is, why? Why is it oppressive for? Do you know what I mean? Why do you believe that it's oppressive? Why do you believe there's a problem? So is there a problem? So for example, if you're talking from a person who was born and bred in this part of the world, they'll probably believe that it's okay for a woman not to cover their head. Right? I suppose that's why they're asking the question. So you say to them, what's the difference? Why is it when I say, or my belief says that women should cover their head, and you believe that women shouldn't cover their head, what's the difference? Why is there a problem? Okay. Now they may give you some kind of thing that's saying, oh, when they have to cover their head, they're not able to be free, they're not allowed to express themselves. Again, you ask them, based on what? Based on what? Is there a problem? If they say, oh, well, and they say, oh, that's how we're brought up, do you know what I mean? A woman can be free. Again, they have to be able to prove that to you. How can they prove to you that not wearing the scarf, or not wearing a hijab is freedom? They won't be able to. So that's the first thing you should always ask someone. Yeah, go on the attack. Yeah, ask them. Say, why do you think? Why are you asking this question? Get them to think. Yeah, when you get people to think about what they're actually saying, it's actually quite a profound tactic. Okay. Now, after that, let's imagine. I mean, you might have knocked them out just from that, to be honest. But let's imagine you still want to go ahead, right? You still want to go even further. Then one of the things actually which I'd is think that number two is they say, okay, but why do you do it? The first thing every man and woman should say is Allah has told us. Yeah? That should be enough for any single person who believes in Islam. Yeah? When you're explaining this to someone, yeah, and they say, okay, I understand that. Maybe they say, all right, okay, yeah, maybe I don't make sense where I'm coming from. But why do you do it? say Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us to. That should be enough. And the way you can explain this actually in a better way is you say to them, yeah, Allah has told us, but do you know what? You believe that women shouldn't cover their head just because this government or this part of the world has told you to, yeah? Where they can change their mind the next day. Whereas we believe Allah has told us to. And Allah, which we follow, is all-knowing. Yeah? Al-Alim, as we know, yeah? He's also the wise one. The wise. Yeah? He's the all-knowing. He's the wise. We listen to someone who we know always gets things right. Yeah? So, in that sense, kind of, why wouldn't we listen to him? Like how Allah tells men, yeah, that we have to cover ourselves from our belly button and our stomach to below our knees. Yeah? We follow that. Muslims and Muslim men shouldn't be going around walking around in shorts. Why? Because we listen to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all-knowing. Yeah? He is the all-wise. Yeah? So if someone who's all-knowing and all-wise is telling us to do something, then obviously we're going to listen to it, aren't we? Yeah? So that's something else which we can think about as well. As well as that, the third one is we could say, whoever's asking you it, yeah, you could say to them that what you're saying to me, yeah, is completely arbitrary. So what arbitrary means is that it doesn't make any sense. Say, where is the line for covering? Where is the line for covering? Yeah? In a sense, what we're trying to mean by that is you're telling me, the person who's speaking to you and questioning you about women wearing the scarf, they're telling you that a woman doesn't have to cover from the neck above. Yeah? But again, yeah, who said that? Yeah? Why does the Western world, or why does he or she who's asking you the question, why do they get to decide that from the neck down is okay? Why can't we believe that it's from the head down which is can't be shown? Yeah, that you can't show the hair. What's the difference between them saying their thing and us saying our thing? Why are they right and we're wrong? And they won't be able to answer that. Yeah, because there's no reason to explain why. Yeah, that a woman shouldn't have to cover her head, because what these people believe in, the Western world, what I mean, and then people who believe that women should be able to wear whatever they want, or men should be able to wear whatever they want, is completely arbitrary. Yeah, it's arbitrary for the Western world. Yeah, these people come up with things just out of their thoughts. Yeah, and whatever takes their fancy, they just go with it. We don't need to listen to that. Yeah, we do what Allah Azza wa Jal has told us, which He's perfected in the religion of Islam, which the Prophet ﷺ has come down with so brilliantly. Yeah, so we don't need any of that. Then also moving on. This is the last point. Then I'll just bring something actually at the end, which I found, which is quite interesting. Is there's something called a false presumption here, or presupposition, whichever one you want to call it. Yeah, presupposition. What this means is, when they're asking this question, yeah, of why do women have to wear the hijab, yeah, and men don't. There's a false presupposition, there's a false kind of understanding they have in that question. And this is what it is. They're saying that males are equal to females. And totally equal. So we mean absolutely equal. Okay? This is what they're believing. Okay? Now, when they say this, Islam does not believe in absolute equality. And this is what we mean, just so, because some of you might not have heard this terminology before, obviously, if I've not taught you. What this means is, Islam does not believe that male and females are completely equal in the way how they are in this world. Islam believes in general equality. So let me explain the difference. So general equality, yeah, is when we believe things in Islam that men and women are both going to be equally responsible for what they do in this world. When men and women are going to be equally responsible for what their child has to do. Yeah, men and women will both get Jannah or Jahannam. Yeah, we mean that kind of general equality, and no one is worth more than the other. Yeah, both lives are precious. However, we don't believe in an absolute equality. Yeah, Islam does not believe in an absolute equality. What we mean by that is, it does not believe that. So let me write these down because maybe you might get confused. We don't believe, yeah, and I'll do it already. Yeah, we don't believe that physically, mentally, there we go. Physiology means like the chemical processes. Yeah. I mean, I could go in psychologically as well. Psychologically, that in all these ways, yeah, men and women are not the same. Yeah, and science has proved that. Yeah, you don't need to just take my word for it. Just go up and do a Google search, yeah, of the psychology and the physical differences between men and women. We're not the same. Yeah, and Islam recognizes that, which is why it's given men and women different roles. So when someone comes to you and says, "Why do women have to wear the hijab and men don't?" You'll say, "Well, excuse me, you've made a false presupposition or false presumption that male and females are equal. They are not equal. Yeah, males and females are not equal in the way how we are built and the way how we express ourselves in the world. Okay, and when you do that, when you assume that we are both equal, that is when you have problems, and that is when society starts to break down because you believe that they are both equal. Yeah, in that sense of that, whatever a male has to do, a female has to do, and whatever a female has to do, a male has to do, then that's completely wrong. Yeah. Okay. The fifth thing I just wanted to talk about was some statistics. Yeah. Very briefly, I just thought it was quite interesting. Well, when I was having a look at assault rates around the world, I'll put the link to this in the description of what I was actually looking at. So there's a website. It's called I think it's Nima, something like that. Whatever it is, I'll put a link to this in the description. When you look at the assault rates around the world, if you look in the when it means by assault rate, it means in the cases per 100,000, and this talks about everything. So physical attacks, bodily harm, sexual attacks, threats, slapping, punching, all of these things. Yeah. And it has a list, I think, of all the countries in the world which have kind of submitted data. And in the top 50, there are only, and this goes all the way up to 2017, in the top 50, there is only one Islamic country. When I was just looking through it, I'm just having a look through it. Yeah, there's only one Islamic country. That's Morocco. And Morocco, for anyone who's gone there, is one of the least Islamic countries I have seen in the world. Yeah? Like, in terms of, sorry, I haven't been there myself, but from what I hear from people who go there, in terms of the atmosphere there, and yeah, they have mosques and they have adhans, but they really, really don't kind of express the kind of Islamic atmosphere which one should. And then when you look at it, in number 51 is in Pakistan. But in the top 50, you only have one Islamic country. And I thought that was absolutely amazing when I looked at it. And then the one which everyone talks about and gives a lot of grief to, Saudi Arabia, is actually 65 on the list. Now, is this table going to be absolutely correct? No. Yeah. When we measure things, anyone who studies statistics, yeah, when we measure things, yeah, obviously there's difficulty. Yeah, sometimes it's not always going to be true. Yeah, but look, top 50 for assault. Yeah, one Islamic country. Really amazing, I think, lads. Yeah. So I just think it's really, really interesting. Okay, where they talk about Islam oppresses women, when if you look in the top 50 countries, assault rates and oppression, yeah, there's only one Islamic country in the top 50. So there we are. So yeah, I hope inshallah that's been useful for you all. Yeah, it's coming to 15 minutes, so I hope this has been useful for you all. I hope you all learn a lot, and if you like it, leave a like. Yeah, if you've got any questions, put that in the comment section as well. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Yeah. All right then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.